Hi guys, my name is Rahul. Today we are going to talk about the newly released movie Deadpool and Wolverine. So straight up I'm going to say this. I really enjoyed this movie. And also the warning I'm going to give you this is not really an MCU movie. This is particularly enjoyable for the people who loved the 20th century Fox version of Marvel characters. This is a love letter for that characters who loved those movies. I'm a 90s kid. Okay, I lived my life or kid teenage life through this movie. So I really enjoy this movie. Whether it was good or bad, they were part of my nice memories about superhero movies. So I really enjoy this. This movie is a full on nostalgia bait for these people like me. These people is not right, those people or including me. So this so you have to realize before watching this movie that this is a movie for those people who enjoyed those bad, good, terrible movies, even though because they are part of your nostalgia. So you remember like there were a lot of movies along with Spider-Man by Sony Universe. There were like Daredevil, Elektra, there was Blade, then the X-Men movies, and so on and so forth. Look, I am a huge fan of Superman, and I am a huge fan of Wolverine. Then Hugh Jackman started to play Wolverine after I actually loved him from the uh, comics itself. There was standalone run for Logan, and I loved those comics. That was actually available in India, of course, and the Superman comics. Along with that, that is one of the characters I loved, other than Spider-Man, obviously Marvel. So because Wolverine's character was given importance in X-Men movies is because of the, if you ask me, there was a period in WWF, at that time it was WWF, it was an attitude era. You love this kind of attitude showing characters like Wolverine. He is loudmouth, he is always angry and like always going to get on your nerves and always angry people. These kind of characters were loved at that time, and I think that was the reason why he was given more importance in X-Men universe or X-Men movie universe. And also I like this his characterization more than anyone, not because of the movies, his tragic past. He is living a long life, he get lot of people gets died along. His story is more, there is a cinematic uh, stuff in this movie, obviously other than Magneto and maybe Professor Xavier. But Ulla's character has the cinematic bit in his life, so that he makes a great character for comic book movies. That is the reason why he was given a long hope in X-Men universe. I know a lot of comic book fans, the cartoon fans, does not like this because they want Cyclops to be this wonderful character. But you think, compare these two characters, in terms of story, there are not many tragic characters as much as tragic as Wolverine. Think about it. He does all this in this 150 years, and he loses memory and he does not remember everything from the past. And he is joining this movie. You can understand how much cinematic it will feel. That is why he got more importance. I loved X-Men movies, including the terrible movie like the Wolverine's origin. I know that it was a terrible movie, but it was such a cool way to show Wolverine. I still watch some scenes because it looked cool, other than nothing. So you understand that I am part of that world where I enjoyed this not so good movies. So maybe that will be the reason why I really enjoyed Deadpool versus Wolverine. If you consider this movie, just forget about the nostalgia bit and everything. This movie has nothing, if you ask me. The story is nothing. There's no story, if you ask me, just basic stuff so that they could include everything. That means they have written this entire movie around what they want to show first, right? So this movie is about that, and the villain is weak. But if you have watched Deadpool 1 and 2, you understand that Deadpool universe does not have a good villain, I mean cinematically speaking. So you should not be surprised this movie has not a good villain in terms of physical thing. uh, this is a Deadpool movie first, and Wolverine is a major character in a Deadpool movie. So in Deadpool universe, there is no great villain. Okay, let me establish that. So this should be the expectation for this. And no, I'm just saying that I am biased for this movie from the start itself. So this movie satisfied with me a long time because I am part of that, the nostalgia train for this movie. I'm happy they showed all this thing. I wish they had shown a little bit more and given me little more nostalgia with more characters, special appearance for certain characters. I wish the villain was. I'm going to straight up say this. I wish the villain was Magneto, right? I wish he was the villain. Give him a terrific one set piece to show his power in the goriest of goriest. I wish that was part of this, but you know that is just wishful thinking, right? So there are a lot of cameos they could have used. They didn't use it. There are some special appearance. I cannot believe that they pulled it off also because of the stories around the set. In the sets, there were a lot of stories about in the past how these two characters or actors didn't get along. They really hated match, but still, his here was a huge surprise for me. And there are some cameos I expected. There are some fan casting cameos also, and people who hate these fan casting cameos, I'm going to say this. See, we are not going to get to see these characters as these actors playing these certain characters, even though they look suitable for this. So this is for those fans. They are just giving us a glimpse that they could look like this. These cameos are nothing more than that. You should not hate on these cameos because you can never see him as that, right? They will not be casting him as this particular characters. And there are other character that a guy want to play, just like Ryan was tried too hard to get Deadpool movie going. Same way there was another person who was trying to get another character rolling, right? And that also didn't happen. So he also got a one set piece and decent amount of scenes for him. So I am happy in that sense. But in the end, this is a Deadpool movie with Wolverine in it, and this is it has a serviceable story to revolve around this. But if you can get around the serviceable story, you are going to have a blast in this movie, and that blast is not going to be for MCU fans. Again, I'm going to say this. So, but they want to be, and I'm also going to people, if you have any confusion that the physical villain is one thing that is showing in the movie, but the real villain is Kevin Feige, because 20th Century Fox Marvel characters are actually bought by Marvel Disney, so they have to remove them from this entire timeline because they wanted new casting for the X-Men and all, right? So he is going to prune their timeline. That is the reality. The real villain, the reality villain is like Kevin Feige, who want to remove them from Thailand because they are going to cast them again with the younger actors. Obviously, I can understand. So that is actually the real villain if you really think about this. Okay, other villain is just for the serviceable story to move on and have a happy ending for the, or whatever the ending might be for the heroes. Okay, so Deadpool, and Ryan was always funny as Deadpool, and he actually delivers again. Wolverine was awesome. He is always this. He gives this gravitas for Wolverine character that I don't think anybody can replace him. If you ask me, I don't know how anybody can replace him as Wolverine. Such a big shoes to fill. And if you ask me, I don't think the first X-Men movie Marvel producing will be having a Wolverine even, because it's such a big role. You can replace any role in X-Men, but it will be very tough to replace Hugh Jackman. I'm going to say this, that guy is going to get so much hate in social media, obviously. So that is that, and there are a lot of cameos. They mention these names in the 20th century universe and everything like that. So there are 2 or 3 good action set pieces that looked good. The 3D was really good. The conversion 3D was really good, I have to say. And as per my friends who have watched in IMAX, they said 3D is even better in IMAX, obviously, because of the frame breaking effects that can happen in IMAX that will not be part of any other thing. I watched it in PXL. It really looked good for a 2K 3D. The conversion, lot of some of the details are lost, but somehow this movie have those details also. Even though it is not 4K, it looked really good, and it sounded really good. The atmosphere was really great. So in a technical point of view, it was a very good theater watch. Obviously, there are VFX issues in this movie if you closely look enough. So, I'm not going to say that this is some kind of perfect technical movie or anything. None of these superhero movies have perfect CGI. You don't should not expect that because these movies are mostly or entirely shot in green screen or in studio. So there are that issues. Then there will be reshoots for these movies, and the VFX will not be properly completed, and all those things are there. I'm not saying that this is perfect movie or not, but you will go having a good experience in cinemas. So I don't think there is much to say about other than these things. I'm not going to tell you the story. I really don't want to spoil the movie, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut for that. But please go and watch these movies in cinemas, if possible in a crowded theater, because that is going to give you some high for that. And also, who also want to, if you really want to enjoy this movie, I'm just going to say this: you have to really know 20th Century Fox Marvel movies, or the Marvel movies that was not part of MCU. These characters, if you really know them, you will get, even if you know, that's why I'm saying this, because even if you watch those movies, lot of those jokes will not be understandable for you if you don't know the story behind those jokes. That's what I'm telling. I'm telling you the fight between two actors in one of those movies. So I didn't expect that guy to come in. I said that before. So these kind of stories are there. Then the fan castings, because people we want to see us particular characters are also there. You have to know all these things to really enjoy. If you ask me, I have not watched the last season of Loki or anything like that. I really don't enjoy watching series. I would like to watch movies mainly. So you can guess I'm not a fan of any TV. I understand what is TV and everything and else like that, but if you ask me deeply about TV or anything, I don't understand. I don't know because I have not watched season 2, of course. So bear in mind that thing. So if you have all watched all these things from the 20th century things to all Marvel stuff, you will get all the jokes about this movie. Otherwise, also, I don't know how much you will be enjoying this movie. But if you are a 90s kid like me, even if you don't know much of the MCU, you will be having a fun time watching this movie. And that's about this for this review. And if you have watched this movie, do comment on about your views about this movie, how much you did enjoy this movie or how much you didn't enjoy this movie. I would like to know about that. So again, thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.